Welcome back everyone, my name is Echo. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a comparison between Minecraft Xbox One Edition and Minecraft Bedrock 1.2. That being Pocket Edition / Windows 10 version, currently in beta. The reason behind this is because in the near future, very soon, Minecraft Xbox One Edition, this version is going to be discontinued. It's not going to be developed anymore, and it's going to be replaced with Minecraft Bedrock, which is Pocket Edition version / Windows 10 version. And I've received a lot of people saying, a lot of tweets of people saying, hey Echo, can you compare the versions? What features have this, that features have that, etc. This video is not to endorse any hate saying, well, that version is better than this version. It's not for that. It's more for educational purposes. Any hate comments will be deleted and you will be blocked. If you have any interesting things to say, feel free to leave it down below. And maybe Mojang will watch this video, see the comparison and go, hey, Echo is right there. Let's introduce that feature to this version. So we're going to be comparing a couple of things in this video. We're going to be comparing the overall layout, crafting, graphical comparisons, controller, like movement, because it's very different on Windows 10, mini games versus servers, and a couple more. If you want to do a part 2, let me know in the comment section. So I'm going to start off with the GUI, the UI, the crafting, and much more. So let's start off with the crafting. So both versions of Minecraft Pocket Edition and console are the only versions that have alternate crafting. This is known as the PC crafting, better known as classic crafting. I'm just going to be showing you guys how easy it is to craft this, as you guys can see. Making a pickaxe, very simple. Making a sword, just as easy, okay? Meanwhile, on the Pocket Edition version, we have an extra menu here. But again, this is all about the console version. Then we'll switch to Pocket Edition and then we will do the comparisons. The other thing is, for changing the menu, we have to go to Settings, we have to go to User Interface, I believe, and I have to turn Classic Crafting off. If I open this, you guys are going to see that this is for the automatic crafters. People, I'm not going to say are lazy, but people who want to quick select tools, quick select blocks. And over the years, 4J have developed this, and it's absolutely perfect. Now, it's been many years since I used this because I enjoy the PC crafting. However, I feel that this is definitely something that the Pocket Edition players should have. The reason why is because for Pocket Edition, for me, I kind of feel that like it's all automatic now, even for the classic crafter. And again, I will show you exactly what I mean. So I feel like this menu is so much easier to use. So as you can see there, if I was to, let's just grab ourselves some oak for an example. So you can see there, once I've found the actual item that I have in my inventory, it's now able to click it and it goes straight into my inventory. I can back off and I'm ready to go straight again. And you can see how easy it is. Then I can craft a crafting table. Then I can craft a chest. Then I can craft stairs. And that is so much easier. Now, granted, I am using a controller. So for the likes of Pocket Edition players who are using touch, it could be slightly different. I'm mainly comparing to the Windows 10 version, by the way. Mainly the comparison is to using a controller. That's why I'm doing this. So something else that I really enjoy about the console version is the creative menu. So this is the creative menu. And as you guys can see there, what I can do is I can instantly get rid of everything from my hotbar. I know from using a keyboard and mouse on Windows 10, there isn't a way to get rid of absolutely every item from your hotbar. And that really bothers me because if you're like me and you have tons and tons of things in the likes of, let me try and find this, in here. I couldn't find it then. If you have tons of things in here, then you'll know that it's really annoying going like this, dropping it, and doing that in the creative menu is really annoying. So I really love that feature about Minecraft Console Edition. I think the overall layout is easy as well. We've got building blocks, decorations, redstone and transportation, materials, food, tools, weapons, and armor, brewing, and miscellaneous. So something else I really enjoy about the console version is if I hit back on the controller, we have host options. And in here, you'll start to notice a lot of these have been introduced to Pocket Edition, but I feel the ease of access in here is so much easier. So let's go straight to the top. Okay, so we'll go to Fire Spread, instantly off, back to game straight away. I feel like it's a really quick thing to do. The UI on Windows 10 / Pocket Edition to me is still it still needs a lot more work. I feel like it's not complete. I feel like it's all bundled up. Things aren't separated. So the last thing I want to share with you before we switch to Pocket Edition is I want to share with you the control options. So the control options that 4J introduced recently, I'm calling it recently because it was quite recently, is incredible. customizing your controller is fantastic. Again, this is a feature that's recently made it to Pocket Edition, and to be honest with you, I can't fault the Pocket Edition version of this. It is just as good as the console version for selecting what blocks you want to use for different things. For example, X for crafting. I use pick block as my up key. You can remove it and stuff like that, as you guys can see. It's that simple. It's exactly the same for the Pocket Edition version. So what I want to do now is I want to switch to the Pocket Edition version and do the comparison. So welcome to Minecraft Windows 10, better known as the Bedrock version, better known now just as Minecraft. Now I'm starting this part off in survival for one main reason. So I have the classic crafting on like I did on the console version, and as you'll see, no matter what, if you're in creative or survival, you're always going to have this menu here. Now, I think this should be optional on or off. I think it's a great feature for the automatic crafters, but I feel it should be cut down the middle here, and it should just be this crafting if you want to use classic crafting. Maybe this can be on or off. The reason why is because, for example, I can do exactly what I did before. I can make a pickaxe, very simple, in like we did before. It's really that easy to do, and as you can see, I made a pickaxe. Also, by the way, there is no keyboard pad at the moment for controllers on Windows 10 Minecraft. So I have to use a keyboard and mouse at the same time in this video. So the next thing I want to talk about is actually to do with having this menu enabled and disabled. Again, I think it's a fantastic feature, but it discourages classic crafting because, put it this way, why am I going to spend my time making this like this, making myself a diamond chest plate, when all I need to do to get diamond armor is to simply select these and it's automatically done. It needs to have an on and off option. Again, fantastic for the automatic crafters, but it discourages the classic crafters like me. There's no reason I need to do this when I can just be lazy and make a quick change and do this. I love the feature, I just think it needs to be on or off. So let's just switch to / game mode C. Again, there is no keyboard pad for me to type things out with a controller. So the next thing is, again, the creative menus. I feel like this here doesn't need to have this here. I feel like this doesn't need to be here. Why have this when we're in creative? I'm not going to be crafting things because I can instantly select it. So again, in creative, this should be cut in half, and this should be a bigger window, which I will compare to the automatic crafters in this version. So you can see here, again, I don't mind it. There's a couple of things in here that I do like, but what I want to do here is I want to switch to the other one that was introduced in this build of Minecraft 1.2. So if I go into video and I scroll down to classic and I select the Pocket Edition, they did recently change something, and that is if I hit RB with a controller, it will now pop up all the block options, a wider screen. Things are so much easier to find, which I like a lot. This is a great idea. Again, at the top we've got the search, which is something that console version doesn't have, so we can search for things if you really want to. The overall menu, by the way, this whole entire menu, in my opinion, is way too big. The blocks look way too big. There needs to be a scale option so you can make this a little bit smaller. To me, it's far too big. It doesn't need to be that big. Something else I do like about this, though, is the drop-down menus. So if I want to select the diamond sword, of course, I hit this, then I can select the diamond sword. I'll do it with the controller, for example. Then I can go across and I can grab myself a gold one, an iron one, stone, etc. But like I explained, in the creative menu, there is no way for me to get rid of absolutely everything at one time. If I want to get rid of things, I have to do this manually. I have to get rid of things manually, and that bothers me a lot, because if you're like me and you have a mess of inventory, then, well, for one, you like to just hit one button and it's all gone. PC has it, console has it, this version of Minecraft doesn't have it. Now, I did show you guys the menus on console version for the controller. These menus over here, I do like them. They are simple to use. I don't have any problem with them. There's a lot going on in them, to be honest with you. There is a lot of stuff going on. Like, the controller layout, though, comparing this to the console version, it's exactly the same. Like, having the option to select what you want to select, it's really, really easy. Like, let's have a quick look inside of here. Do we have a pick block button? Let's find the pick block. I think pick block, yeah, there we go. So I set my pick block to be the up key. Again, just as easy as it is on the console version. So that's the other thing I wanted to compare to you. We're going to move on to graphical comparisons now. All right, so for graphical comparisons, I built the same thing in console version and on Windows 10 Edition, and I split it right down the middle, and you can see the color difference. Now, I had the settings on exactly the same, And as you can see on the right hand side, console is brighter, meanwhile Pocket Edition / Windows 10 version is darker / saturated. Now, this isn't a bad thing. People are going to like one or the other. You're either going to like it incredibly bright or you're going to like it darker. For me, it really doesn't bother me that much. But in terms of graphical comparisons, this is what it looks like side by side on the same build. You have to experience it for yourself, so I'm going to try and switch as much as I can in this next part of the video. So I'm using the Adventure Time Masher Pack as a prime example, the world to be exact. I'm not using any form of texture pack. Something I do love about the Bedrock version is the render distance options. Now I've set my render distance to 60 chunks, which does require high-end PC. I'm using a GTX 1080, so for example, I'm not expecting up to 60 chunks to be a thing on the console version of the Bedrock, because it would just be too much. I don't think an Xbox One could handle 60 chunks, but it is something I really do like. Having the option to change your render distance is great. Not only for the purpose of seeing far and wide, but for adventure maps, a lot of people like to have their render distance short. So if it's like a horror map, you want your world to be extremely dark, you can of course set this all the way down to as low as 5. And as you can see, you really can't see that far at all. You are seriously limited. So what I want to do here is I want to do a bit of world exploring just to show you the graphical differences on the Adventure Time for Windows 10 and Pocket Edition compared to Xbox One Edition. So just slowly exploring the world. Again, the saturation is a very, very big difference. Some people are going to like it light and bright. Some people prefer it darker and more saturated. It's a personal preference. From my understanding, when I've tweeted out pictures saying do you prefer how the console looks or the Pocket Edition looks, people have kind of been 50-50 on either one. So yeah, the render distance really gets me. Let's switch over to the same Masher Pack, same world, but on console version. Straight away, on Xbox One Edition, you'll notice a massive difference. First is the render distance, and second is to do with color. Render distance, if I had to guess what the render distance of Xbox One Edition was, I would have to say between 8, 9, and 10 chunks. That's what I'm going to say. It just shows you. By the way, guys, there was a massive difference from 360 render distance to Xbox One. Xbox One being a lot further. But again, these blocks are looking more brighter. That's what I'm going to say. A prime example is lava. I was looking at the lava quite a lot. In terms of graphics options as well, if I hit start, help and options, settings, and graphics, on console version, we have 3 different options. Render clouds, custom skin animation, I'm going to turn clouds back on, and we also have the gamma. Now gamma is kind of like a brightness thing. I keep mine on 80, I just have for a long time. It will just make it brighter, even brighter as you guys can see, but it really doesn't look as good if it's that bright. Maybe if I put this all the way down to... Gamma is just... Okay, no, I thought it was going to make a massive difference in like saturation. Make it like a Pocket Edition exactly the way it is. So they're the only options we have for graphical on the console version. Let's see what graphical options we do have for Pocket Edition. So focusing on what graphics Bedrock version has, if we go down a video, we have a couple actually. We have view bobbing on and off, which actually I do think console has, and I haven't showed you all the options, so I apologize. Pretty sure this is where your character moves really smoothly or has like a running animation like you would in real life. We have fancy graphics, again, on or off. Fancy leaves, on or off. Render clouds, on or off. Okay, so beautiful skies has to be on if clouds, okay, so there's a difference there. Smooth lighting, on or off, and full screen as well. We also have the optional changes between the GUI scale as well. Again, that just depends on your device. That's what it's mainly used for. Also, recently, Windows 10 Bedrock version has Plutonium mode, which is used to boost FPS, is what it is used for. We've also got Hide Paper Doll, which is your character on the top left that you always see on console version as well. You've got Outline Selection, which means having your block outlined or not. And you also have Enable Hand or Disable Hand. In terms of the rest of them, you've got the HUD opacity, which console does have. We've got Split Screen HUD opacity. Pretty sure this is just very similar to this. We've also got Show Advanced. Okay, so we've got Particle and Render Distance. Particle Render Distance, FOV. I think this is one thing that console version doesn't have, is the FOV, field of view. So a lot of PvP players like to have it higher or lower, I can't remember, so they can see more options. Anti-aliasing as well, textile anti-aliasing, limit world size. Console has limit world size, meaning classic, medium, small, or large. Meanwhile, Pocket Edition, being Bedrock version, does have infinite worlds. Okay, so that's the graphical differences. The next stage of this is I want to compare the controller smoothness between versions. So for this next part of the video, it's really something that you have to experience and test for yourself. Now, if you do have the beta for Minecraft Xbox, I highly suggest using a controller, of course, and testing the controller differences between Minecraft Xbox One Edition and Minecraft Bedrock version, because it's really hard to explain, but the controller differences are huge. And when I spoke to Microsoft directly, I spoke to Minecraft directly, me and a couple of other YouTubers explained that the controls are just so different. The smoothness is very different. Put it this way, I tried in the older versions of Minecraft Bedrock using a controller like 1.1, 1.2, sorry, 1.1, 1.0, and it was horrendous. Now in 1.2, the controller smoothness and how it works has changed a lot. There's still a lot of improvements to happen. I can't explain it. It's really something that the console community will definitely know when they test it themselves, the differences of how controller is, the smoothness, the sensitivity. Of course, you can change these settings, options, settings, user interface. Oh, user interface, we've got user interface sensitivity, so you can change how sensitive that is. We've got, where is the other one? Game options, game sensitivity. I do play quite high. That's just how I've played Minecraft for a long time. A lot of people like to move like this. I like to move quite fast. I just feel like the overall experience on an Xbox controller compared to the Windows 10/Bedrock version is different. But I will try and explain again on the Bedrock version. Although I am on the Bedrock version, I really can't explain the differences in controller settings. It's just one of those things that you have to try for yourself. Oh, and look, we found a ravine. I mean, they are responsive. I just feel like the response time for the Bedrock version compared to the console version is massive. And again, it's all a work in progress. I do know that this is something they're going to be working on. I do hope that the likes of Microsoft let 4J do this. I hope they let 4J develop the controller settings for this version. It is coding very differently, I do know that. But we do have in here settings, controller settings. We do have sensitivity and stuff. We do have auto jump. We do have controller tooltips. Console has this, console has this, console has this. So in terms of the features are the same. It's just overall trying to explain the smoothness of user controller. Again, something that you have to experience for yourself. So the last thing I do want to share in this video is the differences and the comparisons between minigames and server minigames. So console edition players never had servers. So the closest thing to servers that the console community had was minigames. 3 available. They've been around for way over a year now. We have Battle, aka survival games, Tumble, which is aka Spleef, and we also have Glide, which is an Elytra race. Now, the reason why I'm comparing this to servers is because from watching 4J develop games close to servers and watching servers available on Pocket Edition, none of these have any flaws. Granted, Glide did have a lot of flaws at the beginning due to the likes of glitches, people cheating times and stuff like that, but I never really noticed any glitches or issues with Battle. Survival games was flawless. You didn't have to put an IP. It was simply you load up a game, you play with randoms, or you play with friends. That's just how it was. In terms of maps, if you look at the servers we have today, when it comes to survival game servers, they're limited to, let's just say, 5 maps max. I think some of the servers that I play on a Pocket Edition have 3 survival games maps. These have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 maps. That's a lot of maps to play like Battle on, to play like Hunger Games on. So I do love that aspect. Tumble didn't need any, but it was mixed. It had snowballs, it had shovels. Glide, again, it had quite a lot of maps, and I believe there's also a newer DLC out after you're watching this video. So I'm just going to load up this and show you how flawless it was and how fun it is to play. It's been a while since I played this, so if I do suck, I apologize. But one of the greatest things to remember about this is we never have to worry about hackers, cheaters. Things like that were never really a problem in the console community. Again, the glitches were a problem in terms of time on this minigame only, but you never really seen it in the likes of Battle or Tumble. You never really seen people cheating on them. This was just really fun because you let 4J take care of that. You didn't take care of that. Meanwhile, if you play Pocket Edition servers, there's a lot of hackers, there's a lot of cheaters, there is in fact a lot of glitches, And I'm dead right there. So that really does bother me. I do love how easy it is to play the games like this, though, especially when it comes to playing with your friends. So what I want to do now is just switch to a server, try and get a game mode as close as I can to this one, and just show you a little bit of a comparison. So let's head into some servers for Minecraft Pocket Edition, the Bedrock version. In servers, by default in the beta, we have 3 servers available: Lifeboat, in PvP, and Mineplex. There is one extra one coming in full release, which is CubeCraft, which the community really hasn't explored. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to head into Mineplex, for example, and I want to show you the mini games and the good things about servers. So for console players, instead of paying for DLC, what you will be paying for in the likes of servers, if you want to, you don't have to, is you'll be paying for ranks. Ranks that give you the likes of things to open chests, which kind of looks glitched out right now in the beta. You have ranks for other things that give you in-game things. So for example, on this server, this one has crates where you can unlock cool things. I'm not going to be unlocking any right now, but we do have various options. You can have morphs. Like, for example, I've got the morph to be iron golems. We have pets and all that good stuff. We do have more mini games. That's a massive bonus. Having more mini games is a really, really good thing. And something I've always wanted to see on the console is, of course, having solo survival games and team survival games. So playing on your own, playing with your friend who you might be really good with. Block Hunt, where you can disguise as blocks, which is good. Death Tag, which is really, really fun. We're going to click to other games because I want to show you guys the mini game. So sadly, there isn't anyone playing Skyfall, and that's kind of the closest you will get to the Glide. It's kind of a combination of survival games slash with the Elytra race. You use the Elytra, you go from platform to platform. Because I'm in beta, there isn't anyone playing. We do also have a chat functionality, so you can talk to your friends, like hello, for example. I'm not going to because I have a YouTuber rank, and everyone will be asking what I'm doing. We also have here a Mineplex store, which I'm pretty confident isn't active in beta. Like in PvP, yeah, it's not available. So they're not available in beta. We do have here open menu. So in here we have preferences, which is really good. So if we go to the next one, we have global. They glitched out a little bit. Rules or whatever, that they're glitched out. They are really, really glitched out. Let's just say we wanted to go on this one, for example. That says micro battles, I think it is. Okay, so you can stack your stats. So if you're really good at micro battles, it's going to tell you that you're good at micro battles, gems and arrows on target, kills, etc. So there is positives for both. My overall opinion, I do feel the likes of the mini games for console version will make it to the Bedrock version. I just feel like that's going to be a thing in the seeable future for 4J. So again, it wasn't really to hate on one version. That version's better than this version. It was just a very, very... well, it took a long time to make this comparison, so I hope you did enjoy it. If you want to see a part 2, I can go in more depth. I can go into achievements. I can go into creative, survival, and so much more. So hopefully you appreciate this video, because believe me, it took 3 or 4 hours to complete. Leave your comments down below on what you do and do not like about each version. I'll check the time to read them out, and I'll catch you next time. Bye!